Okay, so I'm 100% gonna butcher this, but we got the Coraline bug theory by Karsten Runquist. Runquist. Yeah, I almost definitely butchered that. I don't even know why I tried that, but I mean, video's a year old. Found it on my, you know, fucking recommended, and I thought it seemed interesting, right? I like the little thumbnail. You guys can't see the thumbnail, but seems a little interesting. So I said, why not? This has 4.5 million views. Therefore, I think it must have been of some kind of, really interesting video, possibly. I'm even seeing that one by Wendigoon. It's a little too long to react to, but, whatever you guys want me to react to, I'll do it. I don't know if we'll have much else to say. Let's just go. I mean, I'm kind of scared of bugs. I don't really like bugs, I have to admit. But let's go.
This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure most of you have at the very least heard of the 2009 stop-motion animated classic Coraline. Every time I watch Coraline, I get something new out of it, and I seem to get a new sense of appreciation for just how much this film was doing. Obviously, there's the creepiness and the beautiful animation, but there were storytelling
Is this him? This is his filter, right? For why there's like borders around the screen.
Elements that went above and beyond what most films cared to incorporate. I say films and not just animated films because that's just the truth. Many have theorized the details within Coraline and what their darker meaning was, and it's frustrating to hop into a Coraline video over 10 years after its release and try to say something.
Oh, so this is about Coraline.
There was an aspect of
this was always kind of like creepy. It gives you weird vibes when the people don't look that human. When they look almost human, but they're not really human, it gives you this like sort of biological quirk that was like embedded into us. It makes you feel odd because like you really. Like, biologically, you gotta be safe. You gotta know, okay, that person's a person. So when they look kind of like a person and they're not a person, it's freaky. Because it's like your brain telling you, watch the fuck out. This is not a person. Like, what the fuck is this?
Been fully touched on.
And I don't remember how long ago if I watched the whole movie.
Littered with bugs. A lot of people will immediately think back to the iconic final web scene, but then there's also the bug room, aka the room where the door is. Within that room, you got bugs for furniture, bug wallpaper, other mother eats a bug at one point, but that's not the end of it. In this alternative universe, the dad rides a giant mechanical praying mantis. Coraline's bed has dragonfly decorations on top of it that later come alive. Her bedside table has a praying mantis to hold up her picture frame. There are bugs in the shower. At one point there are mosquitoes. She has a small bug hairpin that is worn consistently throughout the film. Ladies and gentlemen, the only car in the film is a Volkswagen Bug. I'll admit, this sounds a little jokey.
A Volkswagen Beetle?
Which it is. I'm pretty sure adding a Volkswagen Bug was a very subtle way of having some fun with the material. But at the same time, for a film like this that puts in this level of detail, I just know all of this was placed here for a reason. And it was. Starting with the smaller stuff, let's just talk about the dragonflies. There's this blog post from Emmett Brady that goes pretty in-depth about a lot of this, so I'm going to be referencing it a lot, but dragonflies supposedly in European folklore are referred to as the devil's darning needles. Upon doing some more research, one article states they were also reputed to sew up the mouths of naughty children, hence the devil's darning needles, and make people blind and deaf, eye pokers, and ear cutters, which, just saying, is exactly the kinds of acts done in Coraline. It's the core conflict of the film. Another bug used is the praying mantis, used at first as a photo stand, but later turning evil as it functions as a machine used by the dad to attack Coraline. Mantids are usually looked at as harmless creatures. Sometimes people make music about them. They're pretty wise. Just look at Kung Fu Panda. But Coraline turns that idea on its head for the sake of horror, using the trustworthiness of a mantis as a means of control, putting other father in a violent position. Then there are the beetles and the cockroaches, which simultaneously play such a big role and such a small role at the same time. They function as most of the furniture in this bug room, almost like henchmen for Other Mother. Brady's explanation for this is that cockroaches and beetles are often always around, but we don't see them, which I guess is why they make for great furniture replacements.
Oh, don't tell me that they're always around. I don't like beetles. I'll take a fucking cockroach, but like, I don't even like cockroaches, let alone a fucking beetle. I would freak the fuck out, dude. I don't like them. Keep them away from me. But it seems like there's a lot of like background, like folklore in this. Like, pretty much every piece of like art always has like deeper meanings to this shit, and I guess that's what he's diving into. Is there's a lot of like bug reference, like not references, but like bug. What do you call it when it's not really a reference? It's just like in your face, like
lifeless,
I don't
giving
know.
it a sense of immortality, which lines up with cockroaches and the idea that you can't kill them, which also lines up with Other Mother's intentions of trying to live forever. And lastly, there is of course the spider, which is kind of the core of this entire thing I'm getting at. Anyone who has seen the movie remembers the web scene, like I mentioned earlier, and that this entire time Other Mother was a spider, or a monster spider, or she's a spider, that's the point. It doesn't take much research to find that the meaning of spiders in folklore is not at all far away from what they are meant to represent in Coraline. On worldbirds.org, it said that spiders in dreams represent fear. Freud believed that dreaming of spiders represents the mother that devours her children, which she does through possessiveness or guilt. When you dream of spiders, you are dreaming of webs, ancient knowledge, language, intricacy, and creativity, the circle of life, transmutation, feminine power, and creation.
How do you come
Keep
up
in
with all
mind,
those things?
Coraline
What?
typically encounters Other Mother in this universe when she's dreaming. Is that not exactly what the Other Mother does to Coraline in the film? I also think the other bugs within the story are all working towards the spider, but I feel like this is pretty obvious considering their numerous attempts at harming Coraline and the button eyes that they have. The spider thing is weaved through the entire story, as the opening credits start with her essentially injecting this quote-unquote evil stuffing into the Coraline doll, the way a spider injects poison into its prey, the way Other Mother is only ever seen eating a bug and her plates are consistently empty, the way she lacks the vision the way a spider does, how she uses surroundings as a means of luring rather than emotional attachment. But as usual, I gotta ask why. It's definitely cool that there are all these creative ways that the film implemented bugs into the story, but why did they do that? I mean, it's creepy, but there's gotta be a cooler reason than that. I do think bugs are weaved through the story to serve a greater purpose.
I mean, what is the point of like what is this art here? Like, should I be asking that question? Is that the wrong question to ask? What's the purpose of this movie? Like, what are we getting at? What is this about? Like, is it just like a creepy movie? Like, is it supposed to like really get you thinking about something? Like, is it like a, fucking social commentary? Seems like everything's a fucking social commentary, but like, I don't know. Like, what's the purpose? Like, what are they getting at? What's the point of making all of this and all this folklore shit? Is this just like a Halloween movie and it's supposed to give you the creeps? And that's why they're making a whole elaborate story off of really just like the aesthetic that they were going for, which is like, spiders and bugs and the shit that gives you the ick. And like, really just for the sake of it, they just made it into a deeper meaning, but maybe there is no like, purpose to the movie. I don't know.
Especially when taking into consideration the devouring mother trope. I don't doubt the core theme of the film is about a mother-daughter relationship, but I think it uses the idea of bugs, prey, and power dynamics as a means of driving that idea home. Coraline is,
power
in a sense,
dynamics
a movie about
between
control.
mom and
the way a dog owner can still own their dog in the afterlife, the way an abusive relationship and work schedule can own Coraline's father, the way humans take control over animals through banana slug hunting or through circus mice, or even the way humans take control over other humans, using a spider and its easily manipulated prey, the bug, Coraline, as a means of conveying that. There's a small
kind of seems like it, so it might actually be social commentary.
moment in the film that never feels fully explained or expanded on, but that leaves me with an eerie feeling. It's when Coraline and Wybie are going about their night and stop mid-conversation as they see a bright balloon mysteriously floating through the sky and into the top floor. They drop everything and, without saying a word, follow said balloon as if they're moths wandering towards the light, completely uncontrolled. Which is much more unsettling when you take into consideration that Other Mother is in control of this world, and she likely put that balloon there as soon as Coraline began to question the morality of Wybie's stitchings. All of that happening at the same time really makes it feel like Coraline is the bug in this situation. In a blog post by Lottie McGuire, she writes that in fairy tales, insects are usually called upon to do impossible tasks, similar to how the bugs are treated in the other world. Which is true. Other Mother sends all these other bugs out to lure Coraline towards her, and she survives on this control. The only reason she's really alive is from stealing the souls of other children. The same way a spider survives only on control through creating webs and stealing the lives of other bugs.
It's evil.
But spiders can't help that, That's just the way they are. We can't fix spiders, which I think is the same case for someone as abusive as Other Mother. Whereas Coraline's real mom is just emotionally neglectful, Other Mother loves Coraline, not for Coraline, but for herself, in an insecure, validating way, which is crazy when we recall the beginning where Other Mother refills Coraline with bad stuffing, and that introduces another horror within the film, that Coraline is inherently her mother. But that's not to say the film doesn't end victorious in some way, as Coraline throws the hand down the hole and kills the other mother as well as the doll. I think it's also worth quickly mentioning that Coraline's real mother is specializing in gardening, which further proves the point that if she's studying or examining bugs and the way they interact or even disrupt her environment, the garden, that's almost the exact same way Other Mother looks at Coraline, as a disruption or something to be used rather than loved. But to wrap things up,
yo, she kinda, mom's kinda
as a disruption or something to be
mom's
used
kinda fine, you know. Sheesh. Okay, no, hold on, I wasn't supposed to say that.
rather than
My fault.
love.
My fault.
But to
my
wrap
fault, my
things
fault.
up, I can admit that there isn't some secret subplot.
What the fuck? Look at her waist. Yo, hold on.
With bugs that
Hold
I
on.
wish existed within the film, where maybe the
it's a
cockroaches have
fucking
a
spider.
backstory we don't know about. But I do think
So when they have buttons over their eyes, that's because this is the other world. So is this about like dream worlds? Like I don't remember the actual how the story went in Coraline. He's saying other worlds, so I'm guessing she goes into another world. Does she have to like? Is it like a Narnia thing? Like she could travel to it through like a portal, or is it just in her dreams that there's another world? I think it's like in her dreams, right?
I think bugs are a crucial part of what this film wants to say, that power dynamics within nature, no matter how minuscule, also exist in a form just as violent within households. And that's all I have to say about
Power
it. Thanks
dynamics.
for watching. Make sure to check out Coraline.
So it's an
and
allegory of
and
power
before you
dynamics.
head out, I want to give a quick thank you to
That's my man.
this week's sponsor, Squarespace. Now, Squarespace, if you didn't already know, is
Dog, shouts out, bro. Hey. So it's like an allegory. I think that's the right word to use. It's like an allegory of fucking, what do you call it? Power dynamics. Sounds about right. I believe it. Bugs can also indicate decay, and the other mother world is dying without a child to feed off. How much of a hero the other dad is. Sings a song basically to get the fuck out. Spiders was when you consider the fact that Carolina's movie that revolves around three women, the mother, the other mother, and Coraline. Throughout the story, the men are mostly there to assist the women. The father listens to the mother and follows her lead. The other father and other YB are literal puppets for the other mother, and YB basically acts as Caroline's sidekick. It makes me wonder if it was a coincidence side. Using the dad to attack Coraline. See that he try to help her from saying, "Sorry, mother made me. I don't want to hurt you." And of the metal and giving her the ghost tie. He's genuinely on her side. Okay, so dads ain't so bad. Nah, that's not what I'd say. I'm saying mothers are evil and men are good. No, that's not what it's saying. It's just an allegory of power dynamics. Goddamn. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it right there. No more needs to be said. Let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, you want to keep the video short?